Welcome back to Loan Officer Success Partner. I'm your host, Devin Dubuque, and today we are spotlighting Dan Smokoska from Win Social. You know, Dan, you guys probably know him better than you know me. He's coming from Housing Wire. And man, brother, I had the pleasure of talking to you on the Redder Morning Show a couple weeks back. Shout out to our guys over there, Scott Hudspeth, Stephen Wyans. Man, those guys are doing some cool things. In fact, if you haven't checked out the software, you probably should. It's amazing. But today, brother, we're here to talk about you and all the cool stuff that you've been doing. And I finally nabbed you. Dude, you've been flying all over the country, speaking everywhere. But welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. It's good to be here. It's been a tiring, travel season for me, but it's been really good because I get to talk to people that I wouldn't normally get to meet.
That's it, man.
And like I'm here now because
right,
I'm out there talking, and so it's just great. You get to meet great people, and
100%, man, 100%. So I know you guys are doing a lot of cool things to help people win the market. And, when we talk mortgage industry right now, for some people, that's a bad thing, right? Like they're like, this is tough. It's toughest years it's been, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
And you guys are bringing tools to the market and training people and teaching people how to get in front of that. Right. Yeah. So let's talk about that. But before we go down that rabbit hole, where are you from originally, man? Are you DFW native?
Yeah. So Dallas, born and raised here in Texas, and been in the mortgage industry about 15 years.
Killer.
Yeah, started off originating.
Yeah.
Did that for like 3 years.
Okay.
I tell people that I liked getting the loan locked.
Right.
And I loved the closing table, and everything else in between I hated. And
it wasn't your cup of tea, man.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
So
it's a labor of love.
It is.
It is.
And so I moved over onto the marketing side of things.
Okay.
And, the past 10, 12 years, been running marketing teams at mortgage companies.
It's killer, man.
2023, went out and decided to do this thing on my own. And it's been a fun but wild ride.
Yeah, so, my man. Talk about the engagement with Housing Wire. So what were you doing with Housing Wire?
Yeah, so I was working with Housing Wire. It was a shorter stint there, but love those guys, know those guys well, and so came in and we did some good sales stuff.
Yeah.
Making sure the whole goal is how can this be of value to the mortgage industry as well as companies who want to reach the mortgage industry.
That's it.
The coolest thing though about Housing Wire is that I think everybody, when they see them from afar, like Clayton and Diego and everybody else associated with it,
right?
They're like cool dudes, good company, great.
That's
people.
it. Yeah.
But when you get in there and you see it firsthand, it's even better. It's awesome, crazy. Man. So those guys are awesome. The whole team is just filled with rock stars. So
it's amazing.
Huge gratitude that I was.
Yeah, got to be a part of it, man. Yeah,
it's good stuff.
Killer. So the marketing side of the business, let's talk about that, man. What do you do with money? There's so many different ways to market, right?
Yeah.
So what's your go-to? What strategies are working? How do you perfect it?
Yeah. So it's sales and marketing, they don't have to be these separate things. I think the most successful people are good at both.
I agree.
If you're not good at one of let's say you're really good at sales, but you're not good at marketing.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to help kind of bring those things together. And so I think where the mortgage industry has been for so long has been the old school way of doing things. So it's
I couldn't agree more.
And it works to a degree, right? People have made a lot of money off of that style. And so the style is we're going to go out and we're going to make relationships and we're going to, have referral partners who then send more business, or we're going to have, we're just going to do a really, really good job, or we're going to serve our people really, really well.
That's right.
But the issue with that now is that you are doing this at a one-to-one scale.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're meeting with a person, a real estate agent, or a whatever financial planner, whatever they are, right? Yeah. So you're going out, you're trying to make that
divorce attorney, right?
Exactly.
Whatever your pick your poison.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so those are one-to-one conversations.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But what if you could, instead of having one-to-one conversations, building trust at a one-to-one scale.
Right.
What if you could scale that thing massively?
Absolutely.
And then we're not talking about one-to-one. We're talking about 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000, 1 to 10, whatever it is.
What's your media? What limit do you have to your reach, right?
Yeah. Social media gives you that opportunity. And so if you build a social presence the right way, it works for you. Not immediately, but over time.
That's it.
You build the trust. And so that's what we're trying to we're just trying to help people.
Well, anything consistently over time can build success, right? And a lot of problems that a lot of people have is they want it right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want the success. I want the fame. I want the fortune.
Yeah.
I want it today. And, quite frankly, like, I've seen some people come out and do it, right? It's not very common, but at the end of the day, you've seen some people just come in and hit the market so hard that they make it happen. But that's not the standard. The standard is you've got to do it every single day. You've got to build it, and eventually you're going to see the fruits of your labor.
Yep.
And I think that's the same thing you look at with any celebrity or any big star that we look at, and we're like, no, man, they're huge. Yeah, but if you hear their backstory, how they got there, what it took to get to that place, it was a long overnight success, right?
That is, man, if people could understand that.
Right.
Really, if they could, there's two sides of it. There's like one side where like, I will never be this, just because they don't know the steps to get there.
That's it.
And then there's the other side that's like the people who've been there, and people are like, well, man, things just come easy for you. Or like, of course you got an opportunity because everybody knows you. And it's like, all right, well, let me tell you when they didn't.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
thank you. Yeah.
So it really is, I think that's just like a great way to say it. Like, people who are famous weren't just
famous.
Yeah. Like out of nowhere.
Exactly.
You even think about like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
Like he had to work his way. I think his dad was in wrestling.
He was a wrestler.
Yeah, his dad was wrestling. Promised to him.
It wasn't promised because he still had to step up and do the work, right? Let me tell you something. If you're going to have a body like that man has, right? At the end of the day, that takes work literally every single day, right?
Yeah.
And then the punishment of being in the ring and doing what it takes every single day to get noticed, right?
Yeah.
Just because you have somebody in your family that's the best, you still have to do the work, right? You still have to show up early, stay late, put in the hours, and make it happen, right? So, but let's talk about this. So we're going to go from we're known by the agents or the partners that we know today.
Yep.
We're doing these one-to-one relationships, which work. And we're not saying don't do that, right? Like that, you've got to have a basis for your business. But now we want to expand that. We want to grow that. We want to get a little bit bigger market share. How do we do it?
Yeah, I mean, so my perspective is that that's done through social media.
Yeah.
A lot of people know me as like the LinkedIn guy, and I think LinkedIn as a platform is extremely powerful. I think it's one of the most powerful sales platforms that exists. And I the reason I say that is because I've experienced it myself, and I've seen it work for whatever we're talking about in the mortgage industry, from trying to bring in business as a loan officer to like CEOs of mortgage companies trying to like build their brand and trying to bring in like recruits. Right. So my recipe for success and like is really based in, I want that person, whoever it is, to be the most visible, known person on their slice of the internet.
There it is.
And so if you do that over a period of time, then it works. Like so if anybody's watching this that's heard me talk before, I'd say this every time, but it's like the foundation of like what I do and how I've built my own stuff. And so the focus for me is based on that psychological principle, familiarity bias.
Yes.
And I think it's so powerful because it's a subconscious kind of response from your brain that says the more that someone sees you, the more that person trusts you.
That's right.
And so I funny enough, I usually use the example of like someone famous, and I usually go Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm like, if we saw him like walk into this building, we would be like, there he is. We'll go up to him, maybe shake his hand, feel like we know the guy, and we don't. He doesn't know we exist.
That's it.
And so if you can capture that same thing on the internet, you're going to have the same reaction. And so with The Rock, it's like he is visible so often. He's in every movie. He's been, he's he's doing interviews.
He's
so
singing.
We see that face all the time, right?
Exactly.
So like capture that. And the way that you capture that as like a loan officer is just being consistently visible over time.
Amen.
And I'm telling you, it is like the most powerful thing that you can do is to just be seen. You don't have to like create the best content in the world.
Right.
Show that face.
That's it. Well, you said something earlier, and I'm going to just kind of record scratch that moment real quick because you mentioned LinkedIn, right? And, for the longest time, I was one of the other people on the planet that said, well, LinkedIn's for, getting a job, right? Like that's what everybody's belief is, not everybody, not yours, right? But for our audience, right? A lot of the times that's what you're thinking is why am I on LinkedIn, right? However, over just the last few months, I've met people like you, Brian View. I've met, who's the other one with the big, Denise Panza, right? And every one of these people that I've talked to has this major presence on LinkedIn. And the commonality that I heard from every one of them is it's really helped strengthen and grow my business, right?
100%.
Yeah. So if you're not looking at LinkedIn as the platform, is the point that I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
Go check it out because guess where other business professionals are?
Yeah.
They're on LinkedIn.
They're there.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So how do you build it? What do you put out? Right. And, how do you build this organic marketing that we were talking about earlier?
I think it's all right. So what you said was, and it's the first step.
Yeah.
Is we think about it as an online resume, go get a job. And so our whole starting point is off.
Yeah. That's right.
So what we have to do is we have to understand like what the tool can be used for. When we think of social media, we think of like scrolling and like, looking at stuff, being entertained. So when people say I'm like a social media guy, I'm like, I'm not a social media guy.
Right.
I'm a social selling guy.
Yeah.
Like I think that the platform of social is an opportunity for you to grow your business, grow your pipeline, all of the things. And so it's taking that mindset of, this is no longer just an online resume, but this is a sales tool. And so the cool part about that, though, is that when you have a platform like LinkedIn, where it gives you a profile with so many different like features and opportunities to be able to like promote yourself, we turn it from like, here's who I am if you're interested in hiring me, to I'm going to speak to a very specific targeted audience. And I'm going to solve their problems.
That's right.
And I'm going to set that profile page up in a way that builds trust and speaks to them. So it's not about us.
Yeah.
It's about helping whoever you're helping.
Thank you.
And so if you do that the right way, it has a huge impact on everything else that you do. So we start with who is your ideal customer? What are their pain points? Why do you want to help them? Why are you the person to help them? And then you say like, build that profile. If you need help, we'll help you build it.
Yeah.
But then it's like, all right, now that we have that audience in mind, and now that we have that profile like really going, because they're going to click on your profile and they want to
see who you are.
You got like 3 seconds.
What are you about? Exactly. It's first impressions.
Once you have those things, then it's like, all right, there's two pieces to success after that on LinkedIn. One is something that a lot of people who are new to like social don't realize how powerful it is. And that's like engaging with other people. So of course you can create content, but like being just a good human and like connecting and like not spending your time just scrolling, but like actually getting your face. Again, remember we say like it's the familiarity bias. We want to be as seen as possible. And so you can be seen by creating posts, but you also can be seen by liking a post or commenting on a post and just supporting people.
Well, I love that you said that because it's called social media, right? It's not called media, right? If it was media, then we should be scrolling, right? But at the end of the day, we want to stop the scroll, right? That's what it's all about, is stopping the scroll and going to social with a purpose. And that purpose is to connect with your audience, whoever that audience may be, right? So this isn't just for mortgage professionals. It's for any professional, right?
100%.
And then create content that is going to speak to that market, but then look for the people that you're speaking to, speak to them.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's huge.
I like it. So let's talk about that, man. So you've got Win Social?
Win Social.
Win Social. And, I'm out there and I want to know what this thing's all about, right? Like, how does this work? Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. So we do a lot. The cool thing is that I own the company and started the company and it's still, it's like 2 years old, 2.5 years old.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of there's a lot of freedom to build what works and like to be able to move fast. And so when we see a problem, we really try to like hone in on what that problem is and how to solve it. And then we try to give the best, products or services that we can to be able to like help make social selling easy for loan officers. All right.
Social selling for dummies.
How do you make this easy? Like loan officers should be closing loans, not focused on any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
And if there's an opportunity to make something that is difficult easier,
amen,
and they can get business from that, then that's what we're on a mission to do. Like this is more mission based, I think, than people realize. Like we're trying to move the industry forward.
Right.
In fact, like we have a number of different things. One of the things we do is we offer like lead gen products.
Okay.
So like we will help loan officers bring in borrower leads, and we're really good at it. And we have recruiting, lead gen stuff as well. That's like been just crushing it. But we are very much aware that a lot of loan officers have used lead gen services.
That's what I was going to say. Let's talk about lead gen, right? Because what most people, as soon as you said that, you had a lot of people who are like, whatever, been there, done that. It's garbage. I have to call 1 million people, maybe get 1% to 3% conversion. I get the phone hung up on me. They don't want to talk to me. There's dialers that are calling all these same people, right? But that's not what you're talking about, because we discussed this in the room a little bit, right? So elaborate on that, right? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah. So one of the things that we're on a mission to do is to like get rid of all the trash lead gen companies out of our industry.
Taking out the trash.
Yep. So we want to put them out of business because a lot of times it's not them. They're not even mortgage people. They see a niche and they're like, let's go take advantage or whatever. And so we're not about that. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to do it the right way. And so one of the things for us is like, all right, what are some of the pain points of lead gen services? Well, the leads suck. Okay, so how can we fix that? All right.
I think it's the leads suck, and then the leads suck.
The leads suck. And then the other piece is like some of these companies are putting people into long-term contracts.
Yeah.
So the market is, for the last 3 years has been in such a like turbulent, crazy time.
It's
like even if you're saying let's do 3 months, 3 months is a lot right now because you don't know what it's going to look like. And so we don't do contracts. Yeah. In fact, what we do is we say, all right, we do the lead gen for you, and we guarantee that you're going to get 3 pre-approvals out of it.
Boom.
Guaranteed, like not pre-quals, pre-approvals.
Yeah.
And if we don't hit the number of 3, then you don't pay until we get to the 3.
It's huge.
And we do this, and the results have been just absolutely awesome.
Well, talk about putting your money where your mouth is, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, we're not going to expect you to pay unless we perform.
Right.
Oh, that's how it should be.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, that's not what the standard is. So you guys are setting a new standard, setting a new bar.
Yep.
You're giving a product that actually works. And if it doesn't, you don't pay.
And the cool part is like we have the lead gen service, but we have a bunch of coaching and training to show you how to go do it yourself too, if you want. And so we have a cohort that meets every month. It's a different group every month.
Yeah.
And so, it's 30 to 40 mortgage professionals, and that can range from like loan officers to CEOs to like mortgage tech founders to like all the things. And
the gurus.
I just teach them, how to like how LinkedIn works, and show them how to go build a brand and bring in business. And like the results of that have been absolutely insane.
It's awesome, man.
And so we're just trying to make a difference in this industry.
No, you're not trying.
And we're doing
it.
We're doing it. And it's so much fun, man, because I'm a mortgage guy first.
Yeah.
And I love this industry. And I had been complaining about where we are as far as marketing and sales for a while. And then it kind of light bulb went off. It's like, well, okay, do something about it.
Yeah. I'm going to take action and pour into the cup.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to stop drinking the cup and spitting it out.
Right.
Right. But I'm going to pour into it. I'm going to put something together that tastes real good.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. Well, let's talk about something because, again, we talk social media and a lot of people some people freeze up, some don't, right? Some are like, yep, done. I'll do it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. Right. But a lot of people do it and they're like, hey, but I posted a few things for a couple of weeks and like, I never got a like or a comment.
Yeah. Scary,
right? Does it matter if you don't get a like or a comment?
I mean, it matters. It matters to the person who didn't get the like or the comment. It's
the ego, right?
We all want it.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
let's. I think
give me gratification, right?
I think there's something that everyone should know, especially that's just getting started. And what that reality is that everyone who is successful on social media right now, again, going back to it, they didn't start off successful. You're seeing them
in their pinnacle
2 or 3 or 4 years down the road from where you are.
Yeah.
So starting always
look
sucks.
at their post count.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting always sucks. Always.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. And so you got to go in there and you got to learn, you got to figure it out. And so if you can do that, where you're like, okay, I'm willing to look like an idiot in public. And honestly, people don't care as much as we think they do.
Dude, it's our ego, right?
Yeah. We tell ourselves all these things, but
that's it.
What I've seen is like people who just, before I say that, my own experience was before I started posting, I was scared to do it.
Yeah.
I was nervous to do it.
What are people going to think?
Exactly.
How are they going to judge me? I don't look good today. Right?
Exactly. And so I had to like tell myself, cool.
Yeah.
You can feel that way. Do it anyways.
Well, and I think, Dan, the other thing is, man, you go out and you speak at these events, you speak to people every single day. That's what you look like, dude.
Yeah.
That's what you sound like.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not.
Right.
And if they don't like you, they're not your tribe, man.
Exactly.
It's okay.
I'm going to show up with a backwards hat pretty much anywhere I go.
Mine will be forward and it'll probably say Dallas on it.
100%. 100%. I will be on a sales call with the CEO of a big company.
100%,
and look just like this.
Because guess what, man? That's what they want. They want transparency. And I think we're in a stage right now, even in social media, but in general, right, where people don't trust.
Yeah.
Right. But let me tell you something. They're going to trust you if you're yourself. Yeah. Right. So, I've had some of these folks that I've talked to, and I'm not going to name any names, that, they're like, oh, but I have to have some sort of AI to fix the way that I look because I got to look perfect.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, first off, no, because, what you're really doing is you're turning people away from you.
Right.
But the second part of that is when you show up and you don't look like they saw you,
breaks the trust.
The trust is broken right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is already a red flag.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I don't know that this is the person I thought they were.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I always like to go back and talk a little bit about those videos so they don't get likes and comments, because I post a lot of stuff that doesn't get likes and comments. But at the same time, I'll bump into somebody and they're like, man, I love your stuff.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing. And it's like, dude, I've never seen one comment, one like, you've never DM'd me, but they love what we're doing. Right. So don't get hung up in that. It does feel good, right? Like, it feels good when you see a lot of views and a lot of comments and a lot of people like me, right? That's not really what matters, because what Dan's talking about is you want to make yourself familiar, right, to the people that you want to be connecting with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What's a good pointer right now, right? Like, somebody's listening to this and we're talking about organic leads paid leads, but paid leads done organically, right? Mm-hmm. And we're also talking about, getting yourself noticed in your market or in multiple markets, right?
Yeah.
What's a good piece of advice for somebody right now?
I mean, organic, which just means non-paid ads, is is a longer term game. But so much more powerful. And so the biggest tip I can give somebody is like, just stay consistent.
Yeah.
Like, whatever is, you're going to have this voice inside of your head that's going to say, stop doing it. It's not working.
Yep.
And the reality is,
or you might have a voice from somebody else.
Yeah.
Saying, why are you wasting your time? It's not going to work.
Yeah. And guess what? Those people who say that, they don't know, because they haven't done it.
That's it.
And so that's why like the cohort, or like just having a conversation with people who are considering it, like, that's why it's so effective, because then they know that if we can make it where they're not alone in this journey.
I like that.
And it makes life so much easier. And what I've seen is that loan officers haven't been very good about social, but it's not necessarily because they don't want to be. It's because they haven't had a person showing them step by step how to get there.
100%.
And somebody who's experienced it themselves.
Yeah.
And somebody who's done the work for over years and has learned by doing a lot of things wrong.
Yeah.
And figuring out what works.
A mentor. A social media mentor.
Exactly. Right? And so like, here's the steps. Yeah. Let me show you how it works. And then light bulbs start going off. And then it becomes way more simple. And so just commit to it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that real quick, right? When you say you've got to stay consistent, what does consistently look like, right? Consistency look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. What does that look like?
I think it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
My advice, whatever you can commit to doing.
Yeah.
Like, so if that's 2 times a week of posting and then some engagement, like with comments and likes. But if you're posting 2 times a week, that tells me that you probably don't believe that it's going to work.
Yeah.
So I'm about like, just get on there. You don't have to post every day.
Right.
But spend 15 minutes engaging with your audience.
That's true.
Like just go like their posts and support them and let them know have conversations, DMs, and just say, hey, you're doing awesome. Like don't pitch them. Just go in there and just like build a relationship. Yeah. You do that every day, your face continues to pop up. You will be, in a
well, you're hitting algorithms at that point in time too, because when you start to engage with these people, social media says, oh, these 2 people know each other.
Yep.
And you start to pop up in their feed a little 100%. Bit more often, right? And they start seeing the stuff that you are doing. And going back about, you don't have to post every day. You're 100% right. But if you do want to post every day, you don't have to post it all on the same day, right? Because effectively, you can shoot it all ahead of time, and then you can bleed it out by scheduling posts. Right. Exactly. Like that's a thing. I don't know if it's a thing on LinkedIn because I'm not as versed on LinkedIn as you are, sir. But I would
schedule it on the platform. You can schedule it within the platform. It's awesome.
So that's the thing is that, if you want to post something every day so that you are visible, you can build it all at once, schedule it to go out. But in the background, make sure that if you're not doing the posting on that day, go talk to some people.
Yeah.
Go DM some folks.
Yep.
Go like and comment. Right.
Or if you don't know what to say in post, I literally have a newsletter for that where I write out the week of content and I give them the social sales play for that week. And then you can on Sunday morning schedule all of it out for the week. And then all you can focus on is just go and engage. And that thing is $5 a month. But every weekend I give you all the content for that week. I mean, it's well worth it.
Oh, no question about it, right? Well, and we were just talking about having a social mentor. When social. When social can be your social mentor. And at $5, I mean, come on, right? Yeah. I know there's other services you provide.
For sure.
For this one, to tell you what to post, when to post, and give you the formula for creating that success.
And make it so affordable.
Yeah.
Like truly just trying to give as much value as possible to this industry and help, the mortgage professionals that are in it be able to be more successful.
What I'm thinking of, and I don't know why this comes to mind, but I'm thinking of those commercials back when I was a kid where it's like, for just $1 a day, you can feed these starving children.
Right.
Hey, for just $5, you can feed these starving loan officers who are out there struggling to create their business and build organic traffic that actually works, become somebody that people recognize, so that when they do reach out to you, they're like, oh, no, I know Dan, right? Like, I see what you're doing too. We're contributors in this space together.
Right.
And I'd love to collaborate with somebody like you, right?
The power of social selling and building that brand and that repetition of your face in front of people and the familiarity and trust that you get is that down the road, and that timeline is different for everyone.
It is
3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever it is. There's going to be a switch where it's not you chasing anymore, but it's leads coming into you because they know you and they trust you. And that is the part that gets really, really, really fun.
Yeah.
Because you just wake up and you have leads in your inbox and they already trust you. You don't have to go through all of that stuff that you do on a cold call.
Well, and people do business with people they know, like, and trust. We already know that, and again, you're making me think back. I just finished Kyle's book, Kyle Draper. Change everything you know about, I know, change everything you know about social media, right? And one of the things he talks about is exactly that, right? He was starting his roofing business in Oklahoma, and he started posting about the stuff that he was doing in the business and about his daily life and who he was. And a major storm hits, right? And everybody else is sitting out to get, we all see them, right? Chasers that are knocking at your doorstep, banging on your door saying, hey, we're here to fix your roof. He didn't have to do any of that.
No.
Because people already knew him. and he's got leads flooding in going, hey, Kyle, I need somebody to come fix my roof, right? And that's what we're talking about, right? You can be that presence. You just got to start, stay consistent, and get a little mentor from Win Social, right? And take that business to a level that you never knew could exist, right?
I mean, if you think about it, nobody wants to deal with the 100 roofing companies that are trying to get your business after a hailstorm.
Yeah.
And we get those a lot here in Texas.
We do.
And so
we feel a lot of storms.
The issue is you don't know which companies you can trust.
100%, man.
And so like that, if you have just one person who owns a roofing company and they're consistently posting and you see their face, you feel like you know them a little bit, you hear how they talk.
That's right.
When the time comes,
that's who
which it will.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
The odds that they're going to go after the guy that's known versus the person that they have
just happen to knock on their door
is drastically different. And so if you think about a mortgage, that's significantly more expensive and stressful.
Yeah.
And so you want to make sure that you have somebody that knows their stuff.
That's right.
So as a loan officer, I want to position myself that way.
That's right.
I want to be known. I want to be seen, but I also want to say we've done awesome. And here's how we've done awesome. And we're here to help whenever you need it.
Well, I love that you said that because I was just having this conversation with Brian View at FinLocker. And, you know, what he said specifically was that we have a big shift in this market right now. It's coming back to the trust factor. And if we're not getting in front of people months before they're ready to make that transition, we're already too late to the party. Right. And that's what you're talking about. When you're showing up every week, you're in their feed, they're seeing you, they're building trust factor. Now, when it comes time to make that transaction, it's really easy for them to know who to turn to because they already trust you.
100%. We actually built a service on this idea where we, of course, have a social media component to it, but like, how can you stay in front of your database that you already have? How can we make it like really valuable, high value to them so that they stay engaged and involved?
Yes.
And just the difference in like how many customers you keep like down the road and the relationships that continue to build. If you have these like major touch points of like you're active on social, you are sending, you know, really high quality emails to just stay in front of them there as well. And you have some kind of in-person, you know, element to it as well.
Touch
that, that is just.
Yeah. Don't do that, guys. Don't love on your borrowers. Right.
Yeah.
And I hate saying past borrowers, right?
Yeah.
These are our customers.
Yes.
They're our customers. It doesn't matter if they've already closed, right? You got to love on those people. Right. And what you're talking about is, you know, some of it's done through email touch points. Some of it's done through the social engagement. And some of it's hosting a local event. Right. And if your folks are not local, there's other things you can do for those folks as well.
For sure.
You know, because we do have some loan officers, especially as we're talking about getting social and getting out there, that may not have clients in the same state, right? You know, I'm in a national brand. We've got clients in 34 states, right? You know, but at the end of the day, there's always ways to stay in front of those people and make them feel like they're special. Right? Yeah. I love it, man. Well, I'd love to keep you here all day, Dan, but I already know, dude, you're probably flying out to somewhere in the next 20 minutes. So what did we not tackle today that we should have?
You know, I really, if I could just drive in one more time, the point.
Drive it home, man.
Just get out there and do it.
Amen.
That is your recipe for success. And if you need somebody to help you and give you a little bit of pointers here and there. I answer all my DMs on LinkedIn. So if you have a question, like, and we're not connected, connect. And then ask me. Like, my content is specifically geared towards how to win business with LinkedIn. And I don't have a problem with like just shooting you over like some resources that could help or answering your questions. But however you need to do it, just do it because it works.
Well, you're going to love the free stuff. but you're really going to love the paid stuff. And I think you stole that line. Just get out there and do it, from the company that makes all of our sneakers here. Because you notice walking in here, we're all wearing some Jordans, which last time I knew was from Nike. But man, what a great slogan, right?
Yeah.
Just do it, right? And that's the one thing I always talk about is you've got to take action.
Yeah.
You have to take action. You can't keep waiting. If you want to get yourself into a better position in your life and grow to that next level, take a great idea and turn it into reality.
Yeah.
By taking action.
Yep.
What a great message, man. So Win Social, Dan, and now I'm going to mess it up. Smokoska.
Nailed it.
Boom. How do we find you, brother, when we want to get in touch with you?
Yeah. LinkedIn is the best way, to be honest. So like if my name is so unique, you'll be able to find it pretty quickly.
That's it. Just don't try to say it.
Yeah. It's a tough one to say. So you've nailed it this time. So, find me on LinkedIn, connect. What I tell people to do is like, if you saw me on this show, just say, hey, saw you on the show.
That's it.
And
that's what I did.
Wanted to connect. Yeah. And so, and then say, hey, I'm thinking about getting started, some way. What would you recommend as the first piece, to do? And
that's it.
And I got resources I'll hook you up with. And however I can be a help, even if you don't buy a single thing from me, I'm still here for the industry, still here to push it forward and help however I can.
So the handle on LinkedIn is
Dan Smokoska.
Yeah. And Win Social is the brand.
Yep.
And win, because it's going to help you win on social. That's
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I love it, man. Super clever, but that's what it's all about.
Yep.
So, and just do it, guys. Like, get out there and just do it. Take the plunge, make the leap, talk to Dan, and, get all that insight, right? What we want to see you guys doing here is empowering yourself and building that business that you love. And, like Dan said, if you don't love part of the business, don't do it, man. He got out of the part of the business he hated. There's always somebody else you can hire to do some of the things that you hate, and there's also people that you can hire to help you get to that next level. Dan's one of those people. And if you DM, he does respond. I know, because that's how I got him sitting right here right now. Right. It's the first time we're meeting face to face is right here on camera, man. So thanks so much again, brother, for coming out and empowering our audience today and every day, man, because that's what you do, brother. So you're an inspiration to this industry, and keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate
because
it.
You're helping a lot of people, man.
You keep it up too, man.
Amen. Amen. Well, guys, we appreciate you tuning in to the Loan Officer Success Partner. Hey, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Get over to Dan's page. Do the same thing over there and forward this to 3 people that that need to hear it. So if you're just a standard human being, not a loan officer, and somebody in your network that is an LO that's struggling, send this to them. Right? Send this to them. If you're a loan officer and you got some friends that you see struggling, send this to them. Let them get this great content and get a chance to meet Dan and his team and take that business to the next level. But until the next time, guys, I think this is a wrap. We'll see you then.